Hello and welcome back to this Intro to Onshape series. In this second video, we'll take a look at removing areas from our part that we've created. Let's get started. So far, we've been able to make a solid cube with 4 cylinders on top. We'll begin working on modeling the inside of our block by adding a sketch to the bottom face. So I'll click on the sketch button and I'll select the bottom face of our cube and I'll change the view to the bottom. Now there are a few different ways to create an outline of a square down here that I can use to cut out. Let's start off with the line tool. I can create 4 lines, one that's horizontal and then vertical, another horizontal line, and I can even snap that to this point right here. And I can create another vertical line. Now that's 4 individual lines that I had to create in order to make that. So that's one way to do it. If I need a little bit more flexibility as far as creating lines, that's a good way to go. Another way that I can do it would be to use either the corner rectangle or the center point rectangle. We kind of showed that in the last video, so I can just click and drag a corner to create another rectangle, and I can dimension each of these separately. So if I wanted to make a rectangle inside of this to cut away, then I can do it that way. But since the inside of this will be the same distance away, we're going to make a thickness for the wall. I can get rid of that. And instead, we'll take a look at this offset tool. And this offset tool is nice because if I select certain points or certain lines, for example, this one right here, I can see that it creates this line and it is offset from that line, and I can change the direction of that offset to go inside. But the nice thing about this is as long as it's a continuous line or a continuous shape, then it will keep adding to that offset. So if I select all 4 sides of this square, it'll make an inside square with the same offset. And if I press enter, I'll be able to go in and change the offset. And the offset that I want for this one is 1.6 millimeters. Before we completely finish off this area, we're going to create a hollow cylinder inside as well. One of the things that we can use is just to use the center point circle. I turned off my origin. Let me bring that back up so I can see that. But I can use the center point circle to create a circle that's inside. And this one will have a diameter of 4.8. I can dimension that. Now I want to make an outline for this one as well, but I also want to make sure that it matches up with the top face of our cube. So what I can do is show the sketch that we created before that contains the circles, and that's sketch 2. And I can see the outlines of those circles. Right now, I can't really match up with those. So if I do a center point, it doesn't snap to those points. But what I can do, let me undo that. What I can do is I can select one of these circles and use the use command. And this will allow me to use parts of another sketch in this current one. So what I can do now is I can use my center point circle and I can snap that to this circle. Okay, and we can check the dimension on that. Now, if you notice the difference between these two dimensions, this one is in black and this one is in gray. This is in black because I have set this one, so I can change this one anytime I want to 4.5 and back to 4.8. I can set this one, but I can't set this one because this one is set to another constraint. So this one is already constrained. It's just showing me what the measurement is. And if you notice, I can't actually select it or change it. Go ahead and turn off sketch 2. And if I try to select this area of the shape that I created, notice that this circle is not included. Remember that this is a enclosed area now, and so it's selecting only this part, and I would have to individually select these. Now I don't actually want to use this as a part of my sketch. I just wanted to make it as a reference for this sketch. So what I can do instead is I can select this and use the construction line. And that'll make it outlined. So when I select the inside, this is no longer a solid area. Now it includes all of this. So we're going to use this area to extrude. I'm going to click the extrude button. And there are two different ways to extrude that I'll show you in this video. Right now I have the add tool, which we've seen before. But instead we're going to use the remove feature. If you look at the top of the cube, it completely eliminates all of the top as well. It keeps going straight through the cube, and that's because I have it set to blind. We'll change the depth to 8.1 millimeters. Okay, so I can see that that's gone a little bit further in. It doesn't take out the top, and I can see what it looks like by selecting the type of view, and I'll change that to translucent so I can see through my shape, and that's how far I want it to be. Okay, so a blind extrude means that it's going to take it from where I was referencing the sketch all the way through, and that was 8.1 millimeters deep. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to create a hollow cylinder by taking out that middle part of that sketch that we just created. So I'll go back into sketch 3. I'll select that and I'll click on extrude, and you can see that it's adding. So I'll click on remove, and this is the second way that we can remove parts of that. Switch to the front view. And as you can see, it goes all the way through our cube once again. What I'm going to select this time is I'm going to select the up to face. And this will allow me to select a face on my part, which I'll select the top face. If I go back to the shaded for a second, you can see that it does completely go through. If I want a block that has a hole right through the middle, I can use it this way. But I don't want it to go all the way through the middle. Instead, I want it to go just a little bit inside. So we'll go back to the translucent view. And what we'll do instead is, since we selected up to face, it goes all the way up to the face that I've selected. I can even select going all the way to this top face, or even this face that we created down here. But what I'll use instead is I'll use the offset distance. And 25 millimeters goes way too far below this, so we can't actually see any changes. So what I can do is I can select this and change that to, let's say, 1 millimeter. And you can see that it offsets that distance. So it'll remove all the way up to the top face that I've selected, and then it'll go down by 1 millimeter. Now that's still too far up. So what I can do is I can select this, and I can press the up arrow key to go by increments of 1. And there is our block with the inside hollowed out. You can see, let's go back to the shaded view and take a look at the inside. You can see there is the cylinder shape that we made for the inside using the Extrude-Remove features. So I'll click on the green check mark and lock that in. And there we have it. In the next lesson, I'll go over creating draft angles. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.